commentary. This time I'm doing a 90s dramatic thriller with Harrison Ford, another one with him, and with Brad Pitt. I haven't done a movie with him in a while. The Devil's Own. Yeah, I haven't done this movie yet. It's an hour and 51 minutes, so let's get started. It's a little bit shorter than Hollywood Homicide, so let's get started right away. It's almost 2 hours, so why not? I haven't seen this movie in years, too, because there's no commentary, so I'm gonna do a commentary. It's like Firewall. I did a commentary for that already. Northern Ireland, 1972, but Pitt's not from Ireland. They keep giving it. That's one thing I don't like about. He's a great actor, but when they have to give him an accent from another country, a lot of the times he just can't pull it off. I don't know what he's saying. Like if you've seen the movie Snatch, I don't have no idea what he's saying. It's a dialect. I don't know if it's even human. But that was a choice because Guy Ritchie just I think he's an overrated director. He can't direct actors to do accents, especially when they don't have it. Statham always works well with him, but most of the time with actors like Brad Pitt or Henry Cavill or whatever, I don't know what he's doing. I just don't. And I put this after St. Patrick's Day because the next holiday is well, the Cinco de Mayo. That's for Mexicans, and also Mother's Day is about 2 Sundays from tomorrow. Alan J. Palcula, he directed this, not Guy Ritchie. Ritchie was doing Lock Stock around this time in 1997. I just think it is. It's like Becky Lynch's kind of. I don't know if she's from Northern Ireland or from just Ireland. To me, I don't know the difference because again, I'm not from there. All I do know is they have bad tempers and they wear a lot of green. And 90% of people that are 90% of people that go that are from from Hollywood have Irish descent. Yep, that's why I don't do this because yeah, this movie's pretty violent because it's an R-rated movie that traumatized Brad Pitt's character. And this wasn't the first time Pitt did an accent. He did several accents in the 90s because he did a southern accent. Oh wait, I forgot to do this. There we go. Devil's Own. Hey, hello, Oliver Hardeland. Margaret Collin, yeah, she's from Independence Day. Ruben Blades. Treat Williams, rest in peace, man. Thank you. George Hearn. Mitchell Ryan. Natasha McElhone. She's a British actress. But Harrison Ford is the best part of the movie, as usual. You've heard her, but he also rests in peace, man. It's amazing how fast life goes by, man. McGuire. Belfast, September 1992. I was 7 years old. I've never been to the UK. I just don't want to go there, guys. It's not for me. There are people come here all the time to Comic Con. So Karen Gillan's been at Comic Con, and she's from Scotland. You had Ewan McGregor. You had Well, Liam Neeson, I don't think was in any Comic Con I've been to, and of course a couple of actors from Doctor Who and such. I don't get it though. It's such a long travel, you know. Crowley's. There he is. Brad freaking Pitt. Look at those eyes. Amazing eyes, by the way. His eyes can do a lot of acting for him, but this accent here, it's iffy. Depends. Yeah. It makes me laugh, though, sometimes, because I'm like, you know. Oh, yeah, Colin Farrell went to Comic Con last year. I forgot. But I didn't see him. Why am I doing this early? Well, I got other things to do later, so. Mm-hmm. This looks like a Guy Ritchie movie from the 90s. The whole film's not in the UK. They go to the America later when Brad Pitt shows up there. And you can see why he's into crime because they killed his dad when he was a kid. That will ruin you. Look what happened to Bruce Wayne when Thomas Wayne was murdered right in front of him. Mm-hmm. Yep, gotcha. I'm doing podcasts because I don't make excuses. And don't you dare say I'm yelling at you, no? Whoever you are out there. I do these podcasts because I must. And because I have a lot of films I gotta get to in May. May's 31 days. The army's out there. Oh man. This shootout goes on for a while. We know. Oh my god, these people sound like leprechauns. It's laughable. Because I did Jack the Giant Killer. Did I do it this year or last year? I think I did it last year. A podcast for that movie. But yeah, I didn't do it on St. Patrick's Day. But yeah, my God, it just sounds ridiculous, man. At least it's Belfast and not, the Great Britain, because you know how they make me feel most of the time. They take me out of the film. I got to sit through three of them, three in the Thunderbolts, like two or three of them. It's too much, guys. You don't need to put them in every freaking movie. They make movies twice as long as they need to be. Look at the sequel trilogy. Look at Avatar, the Avatar sequels. Look at Mission Impossible. They make movies longer, and they don't need to because they talk too much. Even Deadpool and Wolverine, it would have been shorter if you only had one villain, not two. Wiggle Fingers and Paradox. You need one villain, guys. One. You didn't need two. A one villain can carry a movie. You could have like a henchman or like a side boss that dies, like Batman 89, but you don't need three villains. You don't. Today's the 26th, yeah. 4 days from now, it'll be over. The month of April will be over, and we got May. I don't know who that is. Arse. It's a good shot. It's definitely a 90s film, you could tell. I saw this movie a long time ago. I think I saw this on the train on the way home from like Manhattan or something. I don't take the DVD player usually with me when I go to Manhattan. I just watch something on my phone or my I play the Switch. Yeah, because a good YouTuber named Cody Leachy said that he said in one of his videos last year that sometimes an accent can drive us crazy. Trust me, you have no idea. If you see my videos, you could say, yeah, it could literally take me out of the experience like right away. When either someone's trying to hide their accents or when their accent's so thick, I have no idea what they're saying. That's what bothers me. Here, Brad Pitt, I can understand him, but it's off on and off for me. In Snatch, it's horrible. I don't know what it is because it's not even an Irish accent. I don't know what it is. It's alien. This is why I prefer movies with just American or Canadian accents because I can understand them. I never have a problem with Ryan Reynolds when he talks. He doesn't do stupid accents out of nowhere. Just it'll take me out of the experience. It will. Just talk normally. You don't have to play, juggle with your vocal cords. It's just people do that. Voice actors, I get it. Voice acting is different than acting on screen, but when someone sounds like a cartoon in a movie, in a live action movie, it takes me out of the experience. Look at Black Widow. I don't know what accent Rachel Weisz was doing. David Harbour didn't care. He's like, I'm going to sound like a cartoon because this is a cartoon. And then Florence, the less I say about her accent, the better because she's just dead inside. I don't know how they call deadpan acting good because it's not. Sometimes it's bad. If it's a dramatic movie like The Brutalist or something, I get it. But if it's like Thunderbolts, you have to have some personality. You can't put, oh my god, I'm going to do this. I'm like, where's your personality? Natasha wasn't a robot. Give Scarlett Johansson a lot of credit. At least she was alive in Iron Man 2 and the Avengers and all that. She wasn't a zombie, you know? For Christ's sake. Harrison Ford doesn't come into the movie until about 15 minutes. They want to focus on Prit, Brad Pitt. My bad. Good morning, heterosexual guy. This movie doesn't deserve to get crapped on. It doesn't. It's a good movie, not a great one, though. I think Hollywood Homicide is better. Now we're in Newark, New Jersey. Good. Ireland. He shaved his face. 90 immigrants come from all over the world. I get it, guys. But I was born here. I was not deported. I could never get deported because I'm a U.S. citizen. And so is my family. Most of my family. They can't get deported, you know. They can't. Because PR is not, it's an island in the U.S. territories. It's not Spain, Mexico, or some third world country in South America or Central America. It's right here in the in this area. So I'm safe. Trump could never get rid of me. I live here. I'm staying here, no matter what. Hold on. Newark, New Jersey. Yeah. And Pitt just he's aged really well over the years. This movie was almost 30 years ago, and he still looks like that. Just a little more wrinkled, but the guy's aged very well. The last film I saw with him was Cool World, and that was nuts. That movie was Who Framed Roger Rabbit on acid. It was weird and over the top, but it was fun. It in a surreal sort of way. Think SpongeBob, but a lot more darker, not and more mental. You saw the World Trade Center, yeah. May those people rest in peace that passed away. Because I was there. I saw that thing get destroyed. Not in person. I saw it from TV, but I was there. Josh was only 3 years old when it happened. I was 16. That could have traumatized me for life, but it did not. I kept going, and I don't make excuses. Move, and then do a podcast. No more excuses. That is for people in wheelchairs that can't move anymore. You can move. Pick a movie, stick with it, and do it. That's all you gotta do. It's not complicated. AI is not gonna do it for you. Sorry. Yeah, Harrison Ford takes a while to get into the movie, so if you're waiting for him, you have to wait a while. It's like Miles in the second Spider-Verse movie. He's not in the first 15 minutes. It's not even about him. I'm gonna say that a lot when I do that movie in June. Because in June, I will not be doing anything for Pride Month. I don't celebrate that. I celebrate Father's Day with my dad. I celebrate Juneteenth, yeah, I guess, and Flag Day, but I do not celebrate Pride Month. It's just not for me. You're not going to see any rainbows around here because you know me. I don't live a lie. I, I'm completely heterosexual, and the fact that heterosexual guy took that name, that's good. See, I'm an influencer. I am what I am. It's not going to change for nobody. So just remember that. Little girl, a redhead. Your redheads are usually Irish or Scottish. Sadie Sink, there he is. Harrison freaking Ford. You do not kill him off in movies. Force Awakens and whatever. He's a legend. Him and Pedro Pascal, they're going to live forever. Their legacies are going to live. There's Margaret Collin, yeah. There's just some actors I don't like to see die in a movie or a show. It offends me. Especially from Star Wars. Unless they're actors I don't care for, like Bayenga or the Hobo or even Oscar Isaac. He dies in so many films now. Yeah, he sort of sounded like because Colin Farrell wasn't a thing yet in '97. He was just I think it was like in his 20s when this movie came out. Because Farrell's like what in his 50s now? Yeah, so he was like 20 or something when this came out. Pitt was a bigger star at the time in '97. Farrell didn't show up until like the 2000s. Yeah. A lot of quiet moments in this movie. It's more of a thriller than an action movie. He bought guns, of course, because who wouldn't? black redhead is cute. She's probably like, wait, is that Julia Stiles? No, I don't think that's her because that is Julia Stiles. I think that's her. But she was an unknown at the time because this was '97. There's no redheads left. There's a lot of redheads left. I think that is Julia Stiles. Yeah, it's not. At least it's not Lily Sobieski because they're just not good actors. I mean, they don't grab me. It is a personal question. Yeah, that is her. That's her. It's a cameo though. She's not a major part of this movie like in the Bourne films. Even though Brad Pitt's from America. Yeah, Harrison Ford's a cop in this movie. Urban Blades is a diversity hire here because there's no one black in this movie. No. Again, guys, '97, different time. It's very different than now, where everything is a DEI. There's a Yep, don't know. I guess critics didn't like Brad Pitt's accent. Again, it's up and down for me. I don't hate it. I just think it's a bit off because it's very stereotypical like this. And they don't wear green. I don't know why they don't wear green. If I would recommend a movie that's Irish, so with some of the similar accents, I would recommend the first Boondock Saints because that movie at least knows what it is. It's a shorter movie too, even with the director's cut. I think it's a better film. Some people said it's a Tarantino ripoff. I'm like, Tarantino never did an Irish movie. Sorry, he did gangster movies, a martial arts film, two westerns, and what else did he do? He did a lot of crime dramas, but he's never done a sci-fi movie, right? No, no. And directing, not writing, because he wrote From Dusk Till Dawn. Yeah, there's a black guy getting chased by the police again. No comment, sir. Ugh. And I met somebody Irish. I met Olivia Wilde, and she's absolutely gorgeous, guys. If you've seen her face, yeah, she really looks like that. And those eyes, I just got sucked into them. Ugh. She's one of the most beautiful creatures I have ever seen in my life. She's the first celebrity I met before the pandemic. And I'm like, oh my God, you're so gorgeous. I was nervous to speak to her because I was mesmerized. Trojan condoms. 15. Too embarrassed, and you have people that pretty much, buy those all the time, or you could literally get those at any at any infirmary in college or even at the library. Too embarrassed. It's a good shot. Voyager. Because when I showed Olivia Wilde that Slurpee cup she was on, she said, "That's really cool. I'm on a cup." I'm like, "Yeah," and I'll treasure it forever because she's just stunning, man. Stunning, stunning. She was a little girl when this. Well, she was a kid when this came out. This was in 1997, so she was like 12 or 13. We're 27 minutes in. Missiles. Hmm. I don't bake bread. I just put it in the toaster or eat it raw. Of course, they call the police. It's New York City. There's Hispanics everywhere, and there's no subtitles because I think we know what they're saying. Again, if you're gonna put Miles's parents in live action, please put some subtitles. Sony, I am not an idiot, okay? Just because I am what I am doesn't mean that I know exactly what they're saying. They speak too fast, and sometimes they have a vernacular. Again, and they would call this movie racist, of course, because minorities in this movie are treated like dirt. But again, it was the 90s, so don't blame me. I didn't write this movie. I didn't. They still do this to this day. He's abusing the wife. Again, I've seen this before. Okay, back to reality. Good thing I could control the volume here. Because it's like two different stories. You got Harrison Ford as a cop, and then you got Brad Pitt's story with his Irish friend. And I wanted to do this. I didn't want to do this for Hispanic Heritage Month in September, so I got it out of the way now. In May, I'm doing mostly Asian films. I'll do a couple of other films that aren't Asian, but just to mix things up a little bit. Tree Williams, I miss him a lot, and he's such a good actor. I've always enjoyed his work, and the Phantom and Deep Rising. Yeah, just a really good actor, man. Death just doesn't care about anybody, man. It takes a lot of actors. Also, rest in peace to uh, Colin Fox. May he rest in peace. And also Lar Park Lincoln from Friday the 13th Part 7. May she rest in peace. I hope you guys are in a better place. Yeah, I wanted to just say that because I missed them. Hmm. Something like that. I'm like, they probably wanted Colin Farrell, but they didn't know him yet, so they cast an American actor to play Irish. They did the same thing in Boondock Saints because you had Norman Reedus, who is not from Ireland, and then you had Sean Patrick Flannery. Hmm. No, he witnessed a crime when he was a kid. That beautiful red hair for us. She's so cute, and she's legal now. So for anybody saying that I'm into kids, I'm like, no, I love children in a way that I love my new niece. It's not that kind of love. Not all love is sexual. Yeah, that's Julia Stiles. Thankfully, she's not in the film that much, so she doesn't ruin the movie for me. Like, the Bourne movies would have been much better without her, especially Jason Bourne in 2016. Oh my god, her performance is painful in that movie. Her face is just very plain looking. Give me Olivia Holt any day, or a Duff Cameron, or a girl that has a pretty face, not someone with a plain blank face. Hey Salvatore, what's up? Just doing another live stream because it's another boring Saturday, so I gotta keep myself busy. I didn't see the Miami Vice TV show. I only saw the movie. I'm probably gonna watch it in the summertime or something. 33 minutes in. Yeah, another Harrison Ford movie, but he doesn't show up until like almost 20 minutes into the film because it's mostly Brad Pitt's story because he was a rising star in the 90s, so they wanted to push him more. Ford was already established by 97. This was the year that they re-released Star Wars in the theater in 97. Italians make better food. Seen 6 Days, 7 Nights? Yeah, once, a long time ago. It's just that Anne Heche just passed away a few years ago, and it was too sad. Now, so she was cursed. That's racist. Which Danny Trejo got more screen time in that movie. He's barely in it much, especially Tamora Morrison. Yeah, I forgot that he was in that movie. Again, I saw the movie back in the 2000s with my dad. It was either late 90s or early 2000s. I do remember Jacqueline Oberdose's beautiful, booty. She's gorgeous in that movie. Oh, again, there's some race jokes in this movie again because it was the 90s. We got away with a lot of stuff in the 90s, racist stuff and politics and everything, but now everybody's so sensitive. They think that everything has to be politically correct. Well, I got news for you. That's not how the world works. They say I more in Scotland than Ireland. And I wish I had more action, but overall decent fun watch. Yeah. It's more of a romantic comedy, not really an action movie. Think Romancing the Stone. It's more that than Indiana Jones or something like that. What are they doing? It's gonna need the money. I don't know what you're saying. I'm sorry. It's just there she is. She's literally like the. She looks like if Kate Winslet had a sister. It's weird. Just with different hair color. Patriot Games or Clear and Present Danger. Either one. I think the one that's shorter. Ice skating. Ta-da! I've recognized her from other things, but Movie reviews in May, Asian stuff mostly. Because I haven't done a review for a while, mainly because I've been stuck doing a lot of podcasts. Because I got a stack of movies to show in May, on May 1st for my next update. And then in June, I'm going to have another big stack because, I go to yard sales every May or June. I look for physical media because, I want to get a lot of it before Comic Con. I'm going to Comic Con in June. I'm just not saying where. Some Jackie Chan movies. Yeah, I'll probably review. I want to see some of his films and do podcasts for some of his films, both in Hong Kong and some of his movies in America. Just not Rush Hour, because I can't stand Chris Tucker's voice. It just gets on my nerves, and he's just a nuisance in that. I'd rather see Shanghai Noon and Shanghai Nights because Owen Wilson's voice doesn't grate on me like Chris Tucker. Mark Dacascos and Don the Dragon Wilson, yeah, maybe some of them too. There's a lot of films that they done that I haven't seen yet. Man, Julia Stiles, she's probably the worst actor in the movie. I forgot she was in this movie because she did this like 2 years before 10 Things I Hate About You. Man, you throw a hissy fit a lot, don't you? Irish Catholics. Uh, what makes this movie so long? th- there's a lot of movies in this. There's a lot of scenes in this movie that could have been cut just for time. Mainly the scene with the Spanish people. This scene and in the beginning of the film, not when the father dies. I'm saying seriously, why are there so many scenes that could have been cut in this movie to pad it out? I guess because it was 1997. Good thing I have this little volume controller right here, so I could control the volume when I'm watching the movie. These are scenes I would have just fast forward just to save me some time. Shoot Fighter 1 and 2 and Bolo Young counts. Yeah, I'm going to look for stuff to see. Got a lot of Asian movies bookmarked on Max and on Disney Plus and things like that. Okay, good, it's over. That scene easily could have been cut out. It's not character development, it's just Brad Pitt staring. That's not much of a character development. That could have been easily cut out of the movie. This is not a religious movie. It's not. Shokasugi, yeah. There's too many Asian movies to watch in 31 days. I'm gonna watch what I can, and what I don't, I'll see some other time. This scene, I get it. This is a party scene, so this scene is fine. But there's some scenes that could have been trimmed to make this movie an hour and 40 minutes. Sometimes it's okay to have a shorter film, guys. Because even Hollywood Homicide, there's like a couple of scenes in that too that could have been trimmed, put on the deleted scenes. Because this movie has no special features. And Pitt's not really a villain in the movie because he doesn't like turn on Harrison Ford. Just he had a troubled childhood. I get it. Riverdance. Harrison Ford is part Irish, so Ford. Bruce Lee, of course, Bruce Lee. I did Enter the Dragon already last year, right? Yeah, I did Enter the Dragon already, so that one's done. Some of the scenes in this should have been 2 minutes at the most, or just cut entirely because they make the movie too long. Like an hour and 51 minutes is it's a bit much for a movie like this. There's a lot of talking. That's what I didn't like about this movie when I first saw it. I was like, yeah, this film could have easily been shorter if you just cut some of the talking out. Some writers and directors don't get that. Editors are there to make the movie shorter, not extend it, unless it's a director's cut. No, we're not finished yet. We still got another hour. No, we're 47 minutes in now. John Woo had to remake his own movie, The Killer. It's not good. It's not good. The original is hard to watch, not because it's Asian, because it's really dark and depressing, and this remake is like safe and has Brits as leads. That was never going to work. When you go from an Asian movie in the '80s that's serious and dark and over the top, and the action is much better, and then you get this watered down version, it's always going to be less. Wu should just leave his old stuff alone. Don't remake Hard Boiled or any of that. Just don't. It's not going to be better. Or Face Off or any of that. You're not going to do better. Yeah, this scene could have been cut also. Like I said, there's a couple of scenes in this movie that just drag the film a bit. Not everything in a movie it needs to be there. John Woo's greatest hard target. That's another one. You don't need a remake of that. Leave it in the past. Hard boiled. I have to see. I haven't seen that one. It's because it's impossible to find on streaming because a lot of Asian movies get lost to time because they're so old. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. The Running Man remake is coming out. No, but it's going to be more faithful to the book than the movie that came out with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's not a remake of that. It's something different. If it's more like the book, then it's its own thing. But don't you dare copy the Arnold movie because you're not going to do it better. Just do your own thing. Like Little Shop of Horrors, it remade the '50s, the '60s movie, but it made it into a musical, and it's in color, and they use puppets, and it's awesome. I think it's better than the original. There's a lot of scenes that are padded out here. No, The Running Man, they said it's not a remake of the Arnold movie. It's going to be completely different, which is good, because if you're making the same film, what's even the point? Disney has run that the hard way. Why are you remaking your classic cartoons into live action abominations or CG abominations like The Lion King? Because that's not live action. Live action is the Broadway musical, where live actors pretend to be the characters. What is it? Ah, hold on. You're leaving at 10? Okay, yeah. I'm just going to finish my podcast. Thanks. Alrighty. Come on. There we go. Back to the movie. Sorry. That was just my mom. She wanted to give me something. The movie's about a third of the way through, so not much left. If I do have to give this movie credit, is that even though it's a little bit too long for an action thriller, at least it's shorter than some of the action movies today. Yeah, this movie this movie is not as long as what Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning is going to be. That's going to be 2 hours and 49 minutes. That's way too long, guys. That is too long. What kind of epic story are you telling without those of House? Tell me. How are you going from 2 hours and 35 minutes to 2:49? Do they think this is going to make as much as Endgame? Because it's not. Endgame, I was invested in that. And while that movie's not action packed like the first three movies, it's got a compelling story and character moments that make me feel something. Because it's so deep. But then movies nowadays are just long for the sake of being long. And they need to be shorter. Much shorter. Because some two movies are just too damn long. Some movies are like good. They go from, instead of an hour and 40, they're 2 hours and 40, 3 hours and 40. I'm like, guys, I'm not going to live to be 1,000. Make your movies shorter, please. It's fine that the movie's serious. It's not, they don't have a lot of jokes, but it needed to be shorter. Because in the 90s, what was the longest movie of 1997? That would be Titanic. The longest, most successful drama of all time. Yes, drama. Romantic, historical drama. Oh, that's the actor from Liar Liar. May he rest in peace as well. Yeah. Yeah, he passed away a few years ago. You don't know how much you miss an actor until they're gone. At least we still got Harrison Ford. And don't worry, I'm not going to let him sign anything from Star Wars because I know he hates it so much. Even though it made his career. But he was also in American Graffiti, which I have, and a bunch of his other films because I'm a fan. The man is intimidating with just his voice and has never been like as big as Arnold or Stallone or even like even a Seagal. At least he's not lazy like Seagal is now. He's older than Seagal, but he still tries. He's not dubbing his voice and dancing in front of people like an idiot, and he's not doing the keto. That's true. That's a song from Ghost. Yeah, that's a song from Ghost. I didn't see that movie yet because it's depressing. Because, Patrick Swayze really passed away and I miss him a lot. See, that was a nice short scene. See, it wasn't 5 minutes. Some films just don't know when to end. How do you go from the first Mission Impossible, which is an hour and 50 minutes, by the way, it wasn't even 2 hours, to 249? I don't get it. Yeah, top favorite top 10? Yeah, because he was in Star Wars, guys. Hamill didn't really do as much action films as Ford did. And he stuck with mostly voice acting, and of course, he makes it a random cameo every now and then. And Ford's performance is great in this movie, like always. When is he not going to give up? Even in Expendables 3, he was good. And that movie was horrible. It is. It's horrible. The CGI and the PG-13 rating, but Harrison Ford still is a boss. That's what I love about him. And even Brad Pitt did to his own extent, just not here. This is younger Pitt when he was trying to do different accents. One of your favorites, Stallone, is my favorite still because I love those Rocky films, and the Rambo films are really good. And Over the Top, I haven't seen that in a while. Van Damme, you mean? You said Van Da. Even Tom Cruise is in my top 10, but the thing is, stop making your movies long. Not every movie you do is going to be a Titanic or Gone with the Wind or something like that. Typo. Yeah, I get it, Salvatore. I get it. At least you're being civil here, unlike some people that they come from other countries and they just don't even write in English. It's weird. He has, because his father was killed when he was a kid, and it traumatized him. Your house. Because look at the title. Look at the blurb here. It says, "One man trapped by destiny and another bound by duty. They're about to discover when they're willing to live, to fight, and to die for." Hmm. The cover is kind of a little bit misleading because they show Brad Pitt with a gun and he barely uses a gun in the film, just when he's in Belfast. Disagree by Chuck Norris. I'm not a Chuck Norris fan. He's just boring to me. He's too monotone and just he's not animated enough. Some of these bigger actors like Stallone and Arnold, they have these faces that you're so recognizable, and you could see so much in their eyes. With Chuck, he's just very monotone, and just it doesn't do it for me. I haven't, except for like the first Delta Force. A lot of his films are boring to me. I couldn't even get through Missing in Action. I saw the second one first. This is a prequel, and I was just so bored. I like Statham better, or even Olivia Gruner over. Yeah. This film is an R rating, though. That's for sure. It's not PG-13, but still, it could have been a little bit shorter. Seagal used to put a lot of effort back then in his 80s and 90s. Yeah, his best days are behind him, though. He could have easily been, he could have retired in like the year 2000 and nobody would miss him because he's just fat and old now. And he wants to do an above the law too. I'm like, it's been over 30 years and you're fat and in your 70s. You're not going to be able to do this in your 70s. It's not going to work. What they're going to do, get a stunt double for him? Yeah, at least Harrison Ford does his own stunts now, even to this day. Mostly. I mean, yeah, Indiana Jones, they definitely use a stunt double in the last two films. Michael Dudikoff, yeah, Jeff Speakman, Lorenzo Lamas, Jeff Wincott, David Bradley, and David Thomas Ian Griffith. I'm doing one with him. I'm doing Excessive Force, possibly in May or June. What you could have cut out of this movie, yeah, Natasha McElhone, you could have cut her out of this movie. She's not even in the film. She's only there. She's just there to have a love interest for Brad Pitt, but he doesn't need a love interest in this movie. He's damaged goods. Clint Eastwood, yeah, legendary man. You know, when I saw Margaret O'Connell in Independence Day, I thought it was Sally Field because she looks just like her. It's weird. They have like the same face. Field's face is a little cuter, but I'm saying like she could pass for her sister. There's just actors that look so much alike, and they're not brother and sister or cousins or something. Charles Bronson, yeah, I miss him a lot, and Burt Reynolds. My eyebrows do look a little bit better now because they were just too bushy. This one does have its subtle moments. Steve James should have been a star. Yeah, again, he passed away. Yeah, there's someone in the house. See, Harrison Ford really did this scene. It's a mass vigilante. Gary Daniels, yeah, he's hit and miss for me because he's done some terrible films too. Like, have you seen what was that movie called? He did one of the worst kids movies I've ever seen in my life. I forgot what it was called. From the early '90s, it was awful. Pocket Ninjas. Oh my god, it's one of the worst films I've ever seen. It's so bad that even the nostalgia critic couldn't sit through a movie like that. It's like Three Ninjas on crack. It really is. It's a very physical scene. Take that. The action scenes when they're there, they're good. There's no horrible CGI in the movie. At least we got that. But is it long? Yeah, it's a bit long. Hmm. You forgot Brian Bosworth. He's another one that I liked a lot of his stuff. You know, the few movies that he did, like Stone Cold. That movie's so over the top, man. That movie cracks me up, especially the supermarket scene when the guy slips on cooking oil and he crashes into those cans. That cracks me up. That's Looney Tunes right there. Bosworth, yeah, he's definitely underrated. Like he's a football player that turned into an actor. He has his moments. It's not great, but you know he has his moments. I think Stone Cold is a very underrated film. One of the better films that he did in the early '90s. And One Man's Justice or something like that. Yeah, I think that's the other film he did. Because I'd rather see somebody that's trying than somebody that's just completely out of it. Like Liam Hemsworth's not an action star. Bruce Willis, yeah, I miss him a lot too. Mm-hmm. Ski masks. Because COVID masks didn't well, they existed. They just weren't, people weren't wearing them in '97. Oh my God. Sasha Mitchell, yeah, he has his moments too. Liam Neeson, yeah, of course, but he just does the same movies now. He's trying to do something different with the remake of Naked Gun, but I don't think a remake is needed, guys. Leslie Nielsen was such a great actor. You know, you're not gonna replace him. You're not. I'm sorry. He is Frank. You know, you can't replace him. He was hilarious and just he knew what kind of movies he was doing. Yeah, this is the same thing that happened to Joel in The Last of Us season 2. I don't want to see that again. Sorry, it's just too depressing. What was you expecting? A comedy? No, but I need a character I can stay with now that he's gone. And the money. Yeah, some of the inflections that he gives Brad Pitt is kind of off to me. Michael Jai White, yes, another one. I'm not doing Spawn though. I refuse to do a podcast for that movie because I know there's an R-rated cut, but it's still a mess of a film with horrendous CGI. Oh my god, that movie was in '97, the same year that Titanic came out, and the CGI looks way worse. Where's my... The CGI with in Spawn, I was just like, wow, this was released in theaters? That's the problem with movies that came out in the 90s. They had these computer generated images that just weren't ready for the theaters. Now, we have bigger budgets. Snipes, of course, yeah, we got him back. At least we got him in Deadpool and Wolverine last year. The movie's about halfway done. We're about 70 minutes in. It's a long movie. I think they could have they could have trimmed some of the scenes that go nowhere out. Mainly the ones with Daniel Bernhardt. I haven't seen a movie with him in years. Salvatore. You don't have to list anymore. I read enough. So that couch is totaled. Let's see here. Look at this one. This one. Why not? So books. 19 doesn't mean the movie's epic. No, because then you're bored me to death. Especially something that's over 2 hours. If you're not going to entertain me the whole time, don't do it. Because why is a Mission Impossible movie 2 hours and 49 minutes and the budget is $400 million and I don't see that. I don't see that, guys. It's not like at the end of this movie, Brad Pitt's gonna fight. I mean, Tom Cruise is gonna fight a giant robot. I mean, that would be stupid because these movies are supposed to be not realistic, but in the real world. It's not in space or something like Endgame. It's like I don't get it why the movie's budget is that big. Avatar: Fire and Ash, I get it. There's a lot of CGI in it, but with with Tom Cruise, you don't need a budget that big. That costs as much as 3 big blockbusters. I don't get why that's that expensive. $400 million. That means it has to make $1 billion just to make profit. hmm To make a profit, it has to make $1 billion worldwide. Because if it doesn't, it's a failure. Because the last one was underperformed because of Barbie and Oppenheimer. And that's too long, guys. I'm sorry. Anything over 2 hours usually is way too long for me. Even comedies that are an hour and 40, an hour and 50 minutes are too long. All the James Bond actors are considered action stars. Yeah, mostly except for George Lazenby. He only did one and was done. This is a good film, just not a great one because of how long it is. It could have been, like I said, 15 minutes shorter. That would have been fine. Or an hour and 40 minutes. We get it. Julia Stiles does nothing in the film. It's Natasha McEl. She could have been cut. Some of the scenes could have been cut in the beginning of the film. Not the scenes in Belfast. That's character development. You like Luis Mandalore? No. Or his brother Constant Mandalore. Uh they're from Australia, and I'm like, I don't really consider those action stars. Like Paul Hogan, may he rest in peace. Yeah, wasn't really an action star. He was more like a comedic actor. Mm-hmm. Never made it big. I could tell him and Countess Mandalore. Just no. It's like also Anthony LaPaglia. How is this man Italian yet he's Australian? It doesn't make any sense. Some of the mix of these people, I just don't get it. It's like I'm Asian, but I'm Australian. How? There's no Asian countries in Australia. That doesn't make any sense. I thought Australians were white. Some of the Aborigines are dark skinned, but they're not Asian. I don't understand. There's some people that fit the bill. Irish people are white. They're not black. They're not Asian. They're not Hispanic. They're mostly white because it's a very white country. Northern Ireland and Wales, Britain, and Scotland. It's just strange. This world is really weird. There's people that don't look like they're the race that like Miranda Cosgrove. She looks like she's part Irish. She looks Asian. Champions is very underrated. Champions. I don't think I saw that one. Pitt does look Irish. He does. That doesn't bother me. What bothers me is his accents on and off. They focus more on him than Harrison Ford in the beginning. His performance, his acting is not the problem. It's not the problem at all. Because he can act more with his eyes and his face than some people can do in their whole bodies. I know I've seen it. The last movie I did with him was it was the World War Z movie. It's a couple years ago. I did the theatrical cut of that. It's a good movie. I think it's underrated. I never read the book, so I don't know how deep that is, but the movie itself, I prefer that over The Last of Us any day. It's not as depressing. It's got better lead characters. It's got American actors, so screw you for that, makers of the game that decided to cast a British chick to play Ellie. Yeah, screw you for that. And it's shorter. Even with the extended director's cut, it's still shorter than an episode of The Last of Us or something like that, or the game. Yeah, it's gonna take you weeks to finish a game. It's too bad because I like the first season, but man, yep, you're a criminal, Brad Pitt. I'm sorry, you are. There's the Verrazano Bridge. I live near that. Not completely close to it like I did before, but I see it all the time when I go on the train. Charlie Sheen might not be considered, but yeah, he did have his time. It's just he lost his mind after the '90s. Just lost it. He got sick and he was, he married to Denise Richards, who, by the way, is an angel. I met her at Comic Con last year. She's completely normal compared to him. I didn't talk to her about it because it's none of my business. And she left him a long time ago before she got diseases. Yeah, this traffic jam scene also another scene that could have been cut Because this isn't like a Die Hard movie where, you know, they have to make it 2 hours. I get that, but here they could have easily trimmed some scenes out for pacing issues. No code of conduct. I don't know if I've seen that one. Yep, he took the keys. Criminals think they could get away with everything. Of course, Ruben Blades gets shot. He's the minority in the movie because there's not a lot of black people in this movie. They're in the background. That's right, the Harrison Ford sucker punch. Sheen's other action movies I mentioned. Yeah, I saw Navy SEALs and Terminal Velocity. There's also the chase, but I don't like the ending. The ending is stupid. The ending kind of took me out of the film. It was dumb. I thought the ending was a little bit too convenient. The chase is not as good as Speed. It's not even better than Chill Factor, which doesn't have a stupid ending like the chase. And I'm talking about the '90s chase, not the TV show The Chase. Yeah, Natasha, you could have cut her out of this movie. She does nothing in this film. She's just there. She exists. At least this is killing time. Keanu Reeves, of course. I just saw him in as Shadow the Hedgehog in uh, Sonic 3. It was a performance I didn't see coming. I'll say that because people were so concerned he was gonna suck in the movie. No, he gave me a lot of emotion. I cried twice in that movie. Once at the theater and at home. Yeah, this character comes late in the movie. Again, they treat him like he's Liam Neeson here. Mm-hmm. Yikes. See, they're giving him backstory, some exposition, but here it's part of the plot. If it's not part of the plot, cut it out of the movie. You don't need you don't need to pad things out. There's not too many characters in this movie. It's fine, but you could cut some of them out. Like Julia Stiles, she's in 2 scenes in the film and could have been cut. Harrison Ford could have had one daughter. You didn't need to have two. Any means necessary. These people. This movie should be over by 10 o'clock. It's too long. It does drag a bit. That's what the problem I had when I first saw it in the 2010s on the train. I was like, this movie needs to be shorter. Because I'm never gonna say that the acting sucked in this movie or that it's got bad effects. No, it's a well made movie. It is. It's just needed to be shorter. Missiles. And Treat Williams, he could, yeah. Again, that's racist. And anyway, I mean, Treat Williams played a good villain every now and then, and he could also play a good hero as well. Miss him so much, man. He's one of the actors in this movie that I miss a lot. And James Horner doesn't do a lot of music in this movie. It's mostly Irish music. It's not much of a score. It's not memorable like the Rocketeer or something like that. That's got a way better score and a better pacing than this movie. Yep, gotcha. Treat Williams was very underrated. He was in The Substitute. You haven't seen The Substitute. Dead Heat, that's another film that he did that was really good. Joe Piscopo. Yeah. Yeah, we're in the third act now, so finally the movie's gonna be over soon. Yeah, why is she in the movie again? I don't know. Tom Berenger, yes, another one. He's still around, but for how much longer? That's the thing, you know. Now watching Phantom of the Megaplex is going to be sad because not just Mickey Rooney passed away. Now Colin Fox did. It's a good Canadian actor. May he rest in peace. There. It's not even raining today. I don't hear the rain. Yeah, they killed him off screen because, again, the actor probably was doing another film. But he was part of the plot. Some of these characters, like Ruben Blades, dies and he's never mentioned again. After they show his body, it's like he never existed. There's some subplots here that could have easily been trimmed out and put on the DVD as an extra, as deleted scenes. This is why directors cut scenes, and not for mandates either. Josh was like, if a movie is mandated, it's gonna be edited down to 90 minutes. I'm not saying Mission Impossible 8 needed to be 90 minutes, but 2 hours and 49 minutes is too long. John Wick 4 was too long, and that was like 2 years ago. And so was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It needed to be shorter. Tom Berenger was a big action star. Yeah, I know. Direct to video. But he did Inception, so at least he was in that. In a cameo. Ford is he's such a boss, man. Denzel, not really a big fan of him. Good actor, just overrated to me, and just I don't his acting just doesn't grab me. And now he's just doing paycheck movies like Gladiator 2. What was that? No. You're just laughing because you're old and you got an Oscar. Yeah, take that. It's like Denis Villeneuve's movies. You can make movies shorter. Not every movie you do is going to be a Titanic. I mean, Dune, I get why it's long. It's a based on a book that's really thick. But, like, Prisoners could have been way shorter. Blade Runner 2049, it's gorgeous. I love looking at it. But my God, it's too long. It's way too long. It's longer than The Last Jedi. And that movie was unbearably long. It's just, and that's another thing that the Equalizer movies are too long. Like the first one was like 2.5 hours. I'm like, why? Why is it over 2 hours? What epic story are you trying to tell, guys? This isn't Denzel in the '90s when he was young. This is like him in his '70s now. He's old. Stop making his movies so long. Even Tenet with his son is way too long. Yeah, Nolan did that, and then like Nolan thinks that every frame of his movie is gonna look amazing, and that it's telling a story. No, it's just making movies too long. That's the problem. A lot of movies and TV shows, they have way episodes that are too long. Some shows on Netflix are like an hour and 15 minutes. That's too long. That's almost feature length. That's like a feature length film instead of a show. 45 minutes is the most you should go, not an hour and 15 or 2 hours. Less is more. Yeah, Man on Fire, the remake. It's a remake of a film from like the 60s or 70s. Why is it that long? That would mess you up. Hmm. That's not something you can ignore like it never happened. Look at Bruce Wayne. He saw that happen to him when he was 12, and it broke him. Because Natasha's not bad in the film. She just doesn't need to be in the film. She makes the movie too long. Because Julia Stiles is in like two scenes and doesn't contribute to the plot. Tony Scott was a great director. I miss him too. Some people say Endgame is too long. No, I disagree. It's the ending of a long series of films. It was a culmination of 11 years of work. That deserved to be that long. I didn't care if it was 4 hours. But now movies think that every movie needs to be Endgame. You're not going to be as epic. You're just being boring. The last Avatar movie, I didn't even see it in the theater. A Way of Water, I heard it was too damn long. 3 hours and 1 minute, guys. Why? Why is James Cameron making every movie a novel or a really overlong miniseries? The Last Boy Scout, yeah, it's underrated, and Beverly Hills Cop 2 is decent. I did the movie a few months ago on my channel. I laughed a lot because Eddie Murphy makes those movies for me, all four of them. The chase is on. Mm-hmm. I'm doing a much shorter movie tomorrow. Not something that's an hour and 51 minutes. That's too long. It's 15 minutes too long, this movie. It could have been way shorter. It's like the movie The 25th Hour. I'm like, I get it. It's a Spike Lee joint, but did it need to be over 2 hours? No, it did not. You could have cut that monologue at the end completely out, and it would not make a difference to me. You could just say, "Oh, this guy started his life over somewhere else." You didn't need to make all this dialogue that just dragged the movie out. Yeah, the running time is trying to drain me a bit. Thankfully, I'm not doing another podcast until tomorrow morning. But it's a shorter movie. It's Percy Jackson: Sea of Monsters. That's only an hour and 43 minutes. Long, but not as long as this. It's just really exhausting. But it's a slow Saturday. What do you expect? It's not a studio mandate. Mission Impossible could have been 2 hours. That could have sufficed. Those 49 extra minutes are going to be with the turkey. And I told you guys, I don't care about her. She's not Ilsa Faust. I don't care about Vanessa Kirby. I don't care about the lady from The Fall Guy and the Garfield movie. I don't care. Brits make movies too long. You know that. Spread the word. They make movies too freaking long, whether they're directing it, writing it, producing it, or acting in it. They make movies longer than they should. And there's only one Brit in this movie. I gotcha. Enemy of the State. Yeah, this is too long. I said that in my podcast last year. It's a good movie with Will Smith, but it could have been 20 minutes shorter. Him and Gene Hackman are not the problem. It's just the pacing. It's just now Horner's music shows up at the end of the movie. I'm like, wow, where the hell was he? Oh yeah, he was doing like 8 other scores between '97 and 2009. And I love his scores, but here it's just forgettable. This and Avatar are two of his weaker scores that James Horner did before he died. Will Smith was normal. Yeah, Will Smith is not the problem now. The last Bad Boys wasn't that long. It wasn't as long as two. Two was too long. Bad Boys 2 had like 20 minutes with the villain, and I'm like, I don't care about this villain. Just get to the action and the good jokes with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. The scene where Reggie was hilarious. Like, you look 30. That's funny. And it's not a scene that goes on too long. You missed. Yeah, James Horner did the score for this movie, but it's forgettable because it's not any different than anything he did in the 80s or the early 90s. Commando was really good. Red Heat, I haven't seen the movie in a while. I'm going to do that, but it's shorter than this movie. Red Heat is not an hour and 51 minutes. It's like 95 minutes compared to this. Even though the beginning, the first 15 minutes are just kind of boring because it's mostly in Russian. So I won't be doing that movie in May because it's mostly Asian and Pacific Islander month, not Russian month. Patriot games, again, those are better, but one of them is too long. Like, one of them is like 2 hours and 10 minutes, and I'm like, yeah, it could have been shorter. Yeah, Harrison Ford is a good man. Yeah, at least in Commando, it's also a shorter movie than this. It's not an hour and 51 minutes, guys, because that director knew to good pacing and not make the movie too long. Instrument name, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I think it's a keyboard. It's like dun, 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 dun. It's good stuff because that was in 1985. Because if I showed footage of this movie, I would have to cut a lot of the violence and stuff out. Because again, YouTube, you can't show graphic violence on YouTube for some reason. They have to blurry out blood and gore and things like that because they're so sensitive now. Even though you can see R-rated movies on YouTube for free that are not cut. Sorry, Horner, this cord doesn't make me feel anything. And that's the end of the movie. Kind of a bittersweet ending. Not really happy, but it is what it is, guys. At least I finished the movie. It's too long, though. I think this film could have been trimmed down a bit. And there's a shot of New York City, and we are done. It's still well made, though. I'll say watch it at least once. For what it is, it's not horrible. An hour and 48 minutes. Yeah, could have been shorter, guys. Thanks for watching. Let me get up. No, I don't want to hear the song. Yeah, that was Julia Stiles. So not a great movie. I wouldn't say it's in my top 10 favorite Harrison Ford movies. His performance is good in it though. But thanks for watching. Acknowledge me, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll be doing Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters. That's a much shorter movie. It's not an hour and 48 minutes. Thanks for watching.